Welcome. We're just warming up here. We're going to kick off with Jess Delpino from Biocanic. So you're in the right place if you are here to attract more cash pay clients by offering upfront labs. If you missed any of our conversation so far, we'll make sure that below this video, when we send to the recording, we'll have the links to session 1, 2, and 3, because we are kind of tackling this in baby steps, so that you can look over the shoulder as Jess is deciding. In the first session, she decided which lab should she offer as a client acquisition tool. And then as we moved forward, it then became a process of using the AI prompts to come up with the registration page copy for that lab. The reason that we do a registration page copy, or the messaging on a certain landing page rather than sending people direct to the labs, just in case you missed that part of the conversation. The reason that we do that is we want Jess and all of you to have a very customer facing conversation about the lab rather than a very clinical or like medical explanation of the lab, because ultimately they're only interested in the test results to get the physical results that they want in their body, right? So we send them to a page where we have a very non-medical jargon conversation about the labs. So we helped her use the prompts to get all of the copy for her landing page. It's called a registration page. The thank you page that let people know, okay, they're good to go, or order form if you're taking the money directly. So it goes landing page and then either order form or thank you page where they click away to order the direct from the labs. And then they end up on a like purchase confirmation page, and that tells them exactly what to do next. So the very first set of prompts is all about landing that language, that messaging, and getting that piece done. Okay. The next set of prompts is all about helping you decide, okay, well, what kind of content am I going to put inside of this little mini member site while people are waiting for results? Okay. Now, the importance of that content is that's your marketing golden hour. Okay. So between the time they say, yes, I really want the data to drive smart decisions about my health, and the time they get the lab test results, that's going to be your opportunity to show off your stuff, right? To show that you're smart, that you care, that you have a plan for this, and to give them a little taste of how supportive you are by giving them one small step in the right direction. Okay. So we're going to bring them into a mini member site. It's going to congratulate them for buying the test. It's going to tell them exactly how to submit the sample, like how do they go about doing that, whether they go to the lab, whether they need to collect a stool sample or, the saliva for hormones, whatever it is. Okay. You get to explain the whole details. And then you give one nugget of information for the core things that you're going to tackle in either your one-on-one package, or if you're selling a group program, inside the group program. Okay. So those 1, 2, 3 pieces of content should absolutely leave them hungry for more of you. Okay. So for example, if you were doing a hormone test and one of the 3 things that you do with people in your hormone protocols is you start to remove any hormone disruptors. So let's say they're using Tide Pods or something and they need to switch just their laundry detergent, and you give them that one simple shift, because that's one detoxifying strategy that lasts 24 hours a day, right? The 8 hours that they sleep at night and the other 12 hours that they're awake during the day, right? So that's one tiny example that you could say, hey, listen, until your test results come back, I just want you to know there's a lot of things in the world that are messing with your hormones. I just want you to take one small step in the right direction. So if you're using detergents like these, let's make a switch to some that are like these, and that will just stop one serious hormone disruption. So do you see how if we present content like that, they're going to be hungry for what Jess has or you have on the other side of that, right? Oh, that's only one thing and there's a whole bunch of things? Well, I damn well better stick with this person and find out what all the other things are, lest I waste my money on this lab test, or certainly not waste my money working with you, right? So that's an example of the kind of content that should be going into it's a small member site. I could sometimes call it like a mini membership site, where they're consuming content content, it's really just your chance to show off your expertise, show how much you care, and give them a little tiny, teeny sample of what it's like to work with you. Okay. Now, we didn't go into a lot of detail in that last session on what she's going to put inside her membership portal, because quite honestly, that is just as unique intellectual property. The way she talks about things, the way she addresses things, her expertise, the brand she recommends, all those things are hers. So probably best we didn't give you a sneak peek inside the content that she's going to teach, because you should be coming up with that on your own. Okay. When you use that set of prompts, you create all the content in the member portal. You also create all of the supportive emails that are going to go to the people while they're waiting for the test results and pull their attention back into that mini membership site where they're going to be watching videos of you and getting excited to have their test results in their hot little hands. Okay. It also helps you write the scripted video, like gives you a lot of direction on, well, what should go in the video that explains the test, right? Because we can't really be diagnosing because we're not in a clear, legal relationship with them yet. They haven't even signed on to be coached or as a patient. So there's a lot of clarity on what to say in those prompts as well. Okay. So that was the last body of prompts that we covered. That would have been session 3 that Jess and I did. Let's land the plane to what we're actually going to focus on today. This is the final set of prompts, okay? The final set of prompts are called the connect prompts. And the reason that they're called the connect prompts is because you came up with your idea, you picked your test, you did all the copy and messaging for the registration page, you did all the content that you're going to provide while they're waiting for the test results. That's what gets you the really high conversion rate on the back end of this offer. And I'm telling you guys, I just ran one for a practitioner yesterday. We just ran the numbers on hers, and I'll pull it up in our notes if we have time at the end. But just one of her lab test funnels, she has 2 set up, just one of them, it was a hair mineral analysis test. And she made damn near $100,000 from the sale of the test itself, which takes none of her time because they're just watching the videos, right? The sale of the custom minerals on the back end, okay, which again, takes none of her time. They're just buying the supplements, okay? And then she upsold some of those buyers into a package with her. And that package was just under $1,200. And she did the math on the timing. She does a half-hour consult with them, and then, she might answer questions via email or whatever. She said total tops, reviewing their results, doing the half-hour call, few emails here and there. Tops, it was 2 hours of her time. And she was collecting that $1,200 from that, okay? So if we think about that, and her total was like 96 and change, that's why I said it was like almost $100,000, okay? Just since she's had that lab test funnel, she's pulled in this additional 100 grand. And of the 200 people who bought her test, 130 of them converted to buy the custom minerals based on that test. That whole piece of it was like 87 and change, right? So of this 96,000 that she made, 87 of it took exactly 0 of her time. Okay. Now I do want to be clear that it took her time to use the prompts and make the page. It took her time to record the videos that are in the member, just like Jess is going to have to do. She's going to have to sit down. She's going to have her hair and makeup day, right? She's going to have to pull up a sample test. I'm not saying that there's not work involved, but when is the last time somebody walked up to you and handed you 100 grand for fucking nothing? That doesn't happen in any real world anyways, right? But what I am saying is once you build it, once you build this funnel, I like an extra 86K over 3 months for something that's pre-built. And then, the extra 20 people who upsold all the way into the one-on-one offer with me. Yeah, those take 2 hours of my time. I'm kind of okay with that. Jess, would you be kind of okay with those numbers?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, right? Okay. So now that you know that's the setup, okay? Once all of that is set up, you now have to connect. That's why these prompts are called the connect prompts. You now have to connect the dots between the offer existing, right? So now we have this landing page, we have the content sitting waiting for them. How do we get people to actually put their attention on your offer? Okay. Now, a lot of this is going to be similar to what you guys are used to doing, right? I hope you're doing symptoms-based content. I hope that symptoms-based content connects the dots between which system of the body might need some attention. And then we make the invitation for them to test that particular system of the body. by taking advantage of the upfront lab test that you're ordering. Okay. But I wanted to make sure that you guys had a set of AI prompts to get you as close to a body of content that you could rotate through regularly to constantly pull people into your lab funnel. So Jess has been kind enough to do this in advance for us. So Jess, you want to give us a lowdown on how you felt about that, honest breakdown for them of how much time did you spend on it so they know kind of what they're getting themselves into?
Yeah, so if you have already done the first set of prompts, it's really similar. I felt like this one wasn't as in depth, didn't take me as long. The first set of prompts, it took me about 2 days to get through, but I was like really focused. This one took me a few
Do
hours.
this in advance for
Um,
us. I'm
um,
making sure your audio is okay because it's jumbly for me, but I think it's good on YouTube.
yeah, I think we're good. Um, so this second set of prompts took me a few hours to get through. Um, a lot of it it's just copy and paste. Like you don't really have to like we showed you in the last one. You know, there's sections where you want to fill out stuff um, in the orange that's highlighted, and the rest of it's just copy and paste. The biggest thing really was writing my bio and trying to find something that was like professional, but also told my story, which obviously can be refined over time. Um, And then, yeah, it was literally just going through and copy paste this, copy paste that. The prompts aren't, I don't find the prompts to be very difficult because I'm also reserving myself to go back in after all of them are done to then adjust them. I'm not trying to adjust them on the fly because I feel like that's where somebody might be getting caught up. If you go through the way that I did it was I went through the entire sheet and just updated everything in orange that needed to be updated first. So just changing the names of the lab test offer, the name of my avatar, putting in the main pain points, the things that somebody wants to get over. In here, you're also asked to put in a testimonial and a case study. Obviously, I don't have
Jess, I'm going to
the
cut you off
workbook,
because
so
I
I did
just
it
checked your
myself.
audio on YouTube and your audio on YouTube is not clear. So I'm not sure if it's like internet connection or something going on. The audio when I'm speaking is clear. The audio when you're speaking is exactly as you and I were hearing it in the preemptive piece. So I'm not sure if you're on Wi-Fi and you can hardwire. But just to make sure I'm going to reiterate just what she said in summary because I want to make sure she's going to jump in and out. Okay. Because I want to make sure that you guys are picking up what she's putting down. Okay. Yeah. There's somebody saying, like, yeah, she's bad for you too. And I can't understand. So yeah, she's going to hop back on and get back in. I'm going to reiterate for you guys. Totally makes sense, you guys. I totally get it. I'm so sorry. She's going to hop in. I asked her to hardwire in instead of rely on Wi Fi. She's in Australia. Um, so I'm going to go ahead and just kind of share for you like exactly what she was saying. Yeah, she's all jumbled sounding. I totally get it. That was my experience too. Okay, you guys can hear me okay though, right? The audio is clear for you when I'm talking. You can hear me fine. When I'm watching it on YouTube on my phone, it sounds like it's all good, but I just want to confirm for you guys that my audio is not good too, or is not bad too, in which case we can restart really quick. Okay, let's get her back in here and see if that's any better. Hey, just give us some audio. Let's see if it's better.
How is this? Is everybody able to hear me
Yeah,
better
it's
now?
still really jumbly. It's still really jumbly, and I'm gonna if anybody else chimes in and lets us know. I'm still hearing her audio as jumbly. You guys let me know, but I want to at least reiterate what she was sharing. Okay, so what she was saying, we can get her to verbally nod until we know she has good audio.
I
But
hear you
she
fine,
was
Joy,
saying that what's that?
but
I will open my chat. You're gonna jump in and out. Okay, I think you already did that. what she was saying, from what I could understand, you guys, is that the initial set of prompts took her a lot longer, right? Which kind of makes sense because you have to force yourself to get on the tracks, right? You really have to put yourself and AI on common ground, right? So it takes a minute, right? You want to be really, really clear. These are the type of people that I serve, that I want to serve. These are their emotional drivers, their physical drivers. We give you a prompt that gets you really close on there, so that you have a really good rock solid avatar. So I do think that it's a little natural, especially if you're newer in business. Like Jess was still kind of determining, well, which way do I want to go with this? Do I want to pull myself in one-on-one clients a lot? Or am I more interested in a model that is more reliant on selling, certain supplement regimens or something? Either way is fine, right? So she's having to think through who she wants to serve, what offers she wants to do. She's kind of being forced to put the offer ladder of her business structure into enough level of clarity that she can articulate it to AI. Okay. Now, if that's not you and you're farther along and you're like, hey, I'm amazing at helping couples who want to get pregnant optimize their fertility, conceive naturally, and carry full term pregnancy, carry a healthy pregnancy full term. Like, if you know that's me, that's what I do, that's what I've been doing for years, that's what I love doing, those things are going to move a lot faster for you simply because you've got a lot more business experience like under your belt, right? So, how long the earlier prompts take you are going to be predetermined by how clear you are, right, on exactly what your business structure is, what you're doing. Okay. So, assuming that you are at more of a beginner like Jess, that very first set of prompts, that's going to be the biggest uphill climb for you. Okay. So I would say it'd be kind of like, you're going up a really steep hill, and then the rest of the two would be like, two little stops until you're at the peak of the mountain. Okay. So if you are brand new to business, it is natural that you will be racking your brain a little bit more about clarity around who you want to serve, what you're going to offer them, what those price points are, all that good stuff. Okay. But assuming you've been around the block for a while and like what you're good at and what you want to bring to market, that should not be the case for you. So for me, practitioners who've been at it for a while in our mastermind, they generally crank out the prompts like they do all three prompts back to back, and they just get them all done. And then they hand the prompts over to their integrator, and they have the integrator put that copy onto the pages or load them into the emails or, into any of the social media graphics in Canva or however they're building that. So in our world, we tend to divide and conquer. I have the practitioners do the AI prompts so that the content comes from them. It's like generated from them. And then I have them turn it over to their integrator to do that piece. Yes, still bad, unfair. Okay, Sandy, is my audio jumbled, or is it? I'm going to pull her back in and let's see if her audio is jumbled. But I just want to know from you guys, can you hear my audio? So I'm Joy. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm the CEO of Heal at Scale. Is my audio also jumbled for you, or was it just Jess's? You guys let me know. I know Jess's audio was Sandy's saying that it was just Jess. So I just want to confirm we don't have maybe there's some ghost in the machine and we just need to restart. Sandy's saying you're great. Okay, awesome. Okay. She is in Australia. I don't know if she was at home or at a cafe or whatever. So she's doing her best to get regrounded. Luckily, she turned in her homework. Okay. So with or without her, we can get you guys some feedback on exactly how she did. And that's what is important here. What is important is anybody who uses the lab test funnel process is going to have access to all of these prompts, right? The prompts that we're going to be working on these are always going to be, so let me see if I have editing rights on this. Okay. I don't. So you guys will just have to let me scroll through. Okay. So you see right here at the top of the page, the prompts in this set that she completed, these are going to get her all of these things right here. The social media promotions. Okay. drive to register emails. If you're like, Joy, what the heck is a drive to register email? I've never heard of that. I don't even know what that is. That's all right. No worries. A drive to register email sequence is simply an invitation to your existing list. Okay. So let's say you have 300 or maybe 3,000 or maybe 20,000, right? I don't know how many you have, but you have an existing email list. The moment that your lab test funnel becomes ready, like the moment it's like up and running and functional, the moment that that's the case, you ought to be, let me add Jess back in, you ought to be giving it a go to sell that to your existing list. Okay. The reason that you should be doing that drive to register sequence is because um those people already know, like, and trust you, right? So the chances that they might be like, yeah, I actually am curious if these problems might be my hormones, right? If that's the case, they would jump on the bandwagon of getting the data, especially if they've been like in your world and consuming content. Just think about that. If they're in your world, they're a warm lead. Okay. And then they've been wondering and they're not quite sure that it's their hormones. They're not quite sure that there's a disruption in their gut health. The moment they have access to find out, then they're probably going to jump on that. And then your conversion rate of moving them from the test investment into investing in a package or a group program that you have is going to be a lot easier. Jess, you want to see how your audio is now?
I'm scared to talk, but I hope this is working better.
That's way better. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, you guys let me know if she's fine. She sounds really good to me now. So I'm hoping you guys have better audio on her.
If you
Jess,
don't,
while you were
yeah,
gone, go
it's
ahead,
always
honey.
restart and start again.
Right? I feel like my computer is like my female brain. It has too many tabs open all at once that I'm trying to keep track of too many things. And before I know it, all my bandwidth is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I was just walking them through everything the set of prompts that you are working in creates. So drive to register emails, that's for your existing audience. And we go ahead and invite them to the funnel. What I love about these drive to register emails when you send those is that's a really good way to test your messaging, right? Because Jess, if you have 3, 4, 500 people on an email list, let's say, and they're aware of who you are, those people are the most likely to say yes because they already know you, right?
Yes.
That makes sense? Yeah. So if we're going to test our messaging, our marketing, and see, did we do well? Did we do not well? Like, it's kind of nice to have that soft launch drive to register sequence where you're kind of performing the first act in front of an audience that already knows you to some degree. So oftentimes you'll get real clarity or you'll get questions. Hey, Marcella, good afternoon. You'll get questions that will help you see, oh, I use this medical jargon and people don't know what that is. Maybe I should fix that before I post on social, or certainly maybe I should fix that before I do advertisements or something along those lines. Okay. Okay. Marcella, are you getting bad audio on me or on Jess or on both of us? Let us know.
That might be from, if she's starting the video from the beginning, she might
Oh yeah, and it does start. It does start. It gets better, Marcella. You'll find out later. Okay. And then your 5130 posts. Okay, that's something that comes from Kevin Hutto. The 5130 is a marketing promotion that it gets its name from the numbers, right? So it's like, hey, I'm in Jess's case, right? It might be like, hey, I'm looking for 5 IBS sufferers or whatever she's going to say. She's like, I'm looking for 5 people in digestive distress who want to solve that problem in the next 30 days, right? So it's like, I'm looking for 5 people who want to do one thing in the next 30 days. That's where the promotion gets its name from, the 5130. Okay. Now you might be saying, well, I don't only want 5 people to buy it. I want 100 people, 1,000 people to buy it. That's okay. Okay. It's just that what you want to do is make sure that it sounds like a limited invitation, right? And then you'll pull people in. And if you end up closing 100 of them, great. And if you end up closing just 5, that's fine too. You're just getting it to test, you're testing your marketing to make sure that it works. Okay. Now, the other promotions that you're going to need, short form videos. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. This would be your YouTube shorts. your reels, your TikTok videos, that kind of thing. Okay. So I wanted you to have a formula for those. And then these convert really, really well for people who don't love being on video. And these are the priority or possibility posts. And these posts are basically like, hey, is turning your gut health around just is it a priority, or is it just something you might possibly get to one day? And the point of those posts is to force the consumer of that content to ask themselves, am I going to put up with this forever? Or am I actually going to get off my butt and I'm going to do something about it? Okay. So those can be very effective posts. And the way that we built the templates for you, for people who have lab test funnel, the way that we built those Canva templates for you, you don't have to put your face on it. Okay. It's just a voiceover. You don't have to do anything. It's really easy. So if you're having a bad hair day, that last one here, the priority or possibility post, that's a good one for you to lean into on days you don't feel like being on camera. Okay. So, Jess, you said these took you less time than the originals. I want to let you know that's probably a factor of by the time you get to the third set, you're way more clear on what it is you're bringing to market. The other thing is, by the time you're on your third set of prompts in the same thread, the same AI thread, the AI is also picking up what you're putting down. Did you have that experience?
Yeah. So if you're using the same AI prompt generator, I just went through and opened up the same one that I had saved and said, please make sure you reference everything that's been in there first off, and then going through the prompts and then, copy pasting, copy pasting. Uh, yeah, I think having done the first one, spending a lot of time on it and now knowing exactly what to do. I reiterated this before, but I don't know if it came through, but I went through the sheet first and filled everything out. That way I could just copy and paste. And then I didn't really go through the content that was coming out of the AI prompt with a fine-tooth comb until after I did the entire sheet. Because in copywriting or in writing in general, sometimes you can get really caught up in editing while you're writing. And what I've found is it's better to just go through and do the whole thing. And then now you have an entire sheet that you can go through and read, edit. You can go back into your AI chatbot and make adjustments that way. But just to get through the whole sheet, that way now you have a full thing to actually look at it and go, oh, actually, this doesn't really make sense. This doesn't sound like me. This isn't really fitting with my customer or my avatar. And making adjustments that way made it a lot more sense to me. So yeah, I think the first one, you really want to spend a lot of time on the AI prompts. And then after that, I think you'll figure out what your own flow is with that. And that was just the way that I did it.
Yeah, and what she's saying is accurate. Normally, I'd say do your whole body of copy when you're writing something on your own, and then go in and do the editing. Right? I even do like force myself to sleep on it, come back to it, look at it with fresh eyes before I do my final edits. However, the exception to that when you're working with AI is that if you let the AI go on and on and on down the same thread and you don't correct it where you don't like it or it's not accurate, you end up with a full body of copy that is not adjusted as you go through. So, the only place that I would say you need to avoid just running the whole straight set of prompts is when you put in the avatar, right? So, like at the beginning of this set of prompts, let me see if there is one here.
Well,
Right. Okay.
you also have it built into these prompts, Joy.
It's built in. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
where you
It's built
say,
in.
oh, please read through and make adjustments and then add that back in. So if
Exactly.
you're
So,
following along on the sheet, you already have
yes.
built that in for people who aren't doing that, which I really appreciated as well. So I just
Yes,
wanted to
exactly.
highlight that.
So you guys will see, like, if when you're using the prompts, it's like, okay, here's a prompt, and you copy the prompt and you paste it in with your orange fields, just so you can see what this looks like, right? So let me make this bigger so they can see, and then you can speak to it, Jen. I'm gonna keep you just on the screen right here at the bottom. But like, if you look at any given prompt, check it out, right? It's like, okay, write 10 mid-journey prompt concept images to use with these ads that represent Digestive Debbie. That's her avatar, and make smart decisions thanks to thanks to the Know Your Gut test. Okay, that's what she decided to call her test. So she only has to fill in the orange bits, and then she's going to copy and paste this in. And if you ever get to the point where you need to refine before you move on, there's a note there, like Jess was saying, that like, oh, you need to clean this up before you keep going to the next prompt. So if there is any area that you need to edit before you go on, we have gone to the links to make sure that, you're all set. Okay. When I want them to see this entire list of prompts so they know what they're getting into, her ideal client avatar, she had already made in prompt set number 1. So she's basically cutting and pasting that one. So that's not a lot of work for her. Okay. And then she pasted in for prompt number 1. You can see she's pasted in her Meat Digestive Debbie avatar. So she had to go ahead and paste that in. Okay. And then for her next prompt, she had to be clear about, all she had to fill in was the name of the test. And then when she's ready, she could put the link to the registration page. Now, her registration page probably isn't fully built out yet. So she's just leaving that as is. And then in the results that this spits out, it'll just leave a place with a reminder for her to park the link. So if you don't have your page links yet, that's not a problem. And again, these are all stacked prompts. Okay. And what a stacked prompt means, one, like they're intentionally done in a specific order so that the AI gets better and better and better. And then we end up with certain things at the beginning. Okay. So up to this point, we haven't really asked it to do anything yet. We've just been getting it primed, making sure it remembers who our avatar is, kind of warming it up. Okay. And then by prompt 4, we're actually asking it to make some social media promotions. Okay. So in her case, she's cut and paste these. You can cut and paste these, Jen, in a way that you still get the formatting if you want. You've just pasted this so that there's no bolding or no emojis or whatever. You can totally do that. But I like to keep the bold and the emojis and everything that AI gives me in my copy doc in case I just want to copy and paste it from my, like from my phone directly onto a post, a social media post. But I'm just a little bit lazy that way. So give us a sense, and I know we did this 1 to 10 last time, in terms of creating social media promotions that you were happy with, as is before editing, which is what we should be seeing here in the paste response. How did these land for you on a scale
Yeah,
of 1
not
to
bad. Yeah, probably about an 8. I mean, I'd have to go in and adjust some of the wording, but it's pretty good. And it's a really good jumping off point if you're not sure how to start or where to write, or I always like to use stuff like this, like AI prompts and chatbots. Fill it out with as much info as possible, and then I'll probably take these, maybe pick 1 or 2 of them, go back into the same AI prompt now that it's all built out, and say,
Yep.
okay, so I want to take this particular social media post. If I were to write it, I would write it this way. Can you help me with combining the 2 so that it makes sense? And that's how I would go about it.
Yeah, it's super good. And also, if you guys have a favorite, right? Like if you prefer to do your writing in Claude, like Claude, like a lot of people like Claude for higher end writing, you know what I mean? You can run this whole process in ChatGPT and then you can pull your favorites out anywhere that you like. As a matter of fact, I'm really liking right now, in case you guys need a hack, I'm really liking taking one of these. So let's say that she's doing, okay, this bathroom urgency one. I don't know. Do I have edit access to this, Jess? I'm just trying to see if I do or if I don't.
Yeah, I think
I
you do.
might be able to like open this in Docs, in which case I would like be able to edit it. I can't highlight it. So I would take and I would highlight. So let's say this just point number 1 here. Bathroom urgency running your life. Are you constantly scanning for the nearest bathrooms? Da 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 da. All the way up to number 2. So I would highlight all of that and I would copy it on my clipboard. And then I would open an app called Captions on my phone. That's my favorite one right now for doing scripting, AI scripting. Plus, it's a teleprompter right there on your app. So if I was Jess and I was like, okay, I got to go on social media every day, right? Because I can't just be making my offers and delivering them. I also need to keep cultivating a relationship so that I have both, right? I have my offers and I have a relationship with an audience that wants those offers. Okay. The mistake all y'all make is you go in a little rabbit hole to make something. And that whole time you're making something, you're not keeping a relationship with the people who are going to buy it. And then you come out of the rabbit hole and you're sad that nobody wants to buy it when you go ask everybody to buy it. Okay. So Jess, as she's making this, needs to also be on social media doing some of these videos now and testing out, how are these landing? Are people liking it? Do I need to do it differently? Because how nice if she's practicing while she's also going through the process of building this in her Go High Level account. Okay. So never, ever, ever forget that, guys. You always have to be building and delivering for your people, also creating a relationship with the next set of people that you're going to be delivering for. Okay. So just make that clear. So she could copy and paste number one, the bathroom urgency, all the way and stop at exhausted no matter how much you sleep. So just that first little chunk. She could take that, she could go into captions. She should use the AI script function. Okay. And captions is just like, I think here, it's like, actually, I can grab you the link for it. I don't have a relationship with this brand or anything. But I want to give you the link for it because I have tried so many and I was not happy with the combination of, here, I'll paste it here. Okay, not in chat. It should be going to you guys. I was really happy with the combination of the AI scripts that it generates if you give it a basic idea. I'm really happy with its captioning and its editing, its real-time AI editing. And here's the kicker that I've never been happy with before. Third strike of happiness. It does editing that has really good B-roll. And I feel like AI integrating B-roll into your videos has always been absolute crap, just awful. And this app for some reason has absolutely nailed it. I think that the B-roll editions are only in the paid version. And I will tell you a hack. I went in and, I went in to do my first video on it and it wanted to sell it to me. I said no. And then I went back to editing just the free version. And then a few seconds later, it offered me the paid version for a cheaper price. So just like say no the first time and then say yes later, you might get a better offer. Okay. And then she could simply read that script off the teleprompter and she's off to the races with a reel, a YouTube short, a TikTok video that she could just crank out from her phone and post all one time. Okay, great. So you're saying these were an 8 or a 9. I'd say that's exactly where, that's my point, is like, if I can get you on the putting green so that all you have to do is knock it around a little bit until it feels like a hole in one script, that's excellent. Okay. So you're going to put these through what we call the originality overhaul. That's where she's going to insert or inject into this copy a few different things. The originality overhaul is injecting her salutations, right? So like, how does she say hi? How does she say goodbye? How does she talk to her audience, right? Like Lady Gaga calls her people little monsters, right? Like how does she talk to her audience, right? So she's going to inject all of that. She's going to inject her unique IP, and her unique IP is, how does she talk about the gut health journey, right? We don't want to use blanket, boring terms. We want people to hear a certain term come out of her mouth and we want them to feel like, oh, it's Jess. Only Jess talks about it like that, right? So we're going to inject your salutations. We're going to, and sign offs, salutations, and how you talk to everybody. You're going to inject your unique intellectual property, and then you're going to inject your unique style. And I'm going to hand it to you, Jess. You obviously did that when you were doing this, because when I look at these prompts, I don't always get these. So do you see how hers is asking for sources? So obviously she's made it clear to AI that she doesn't want to be a content source that's just flapping off at the mouth. She wants to be able to list her sources in things like her longer form posts and things like that. So it's bothered to provide those for her, which is really awesome. Okay. That is an example of the originality overhaul. Some of you don't care about that. Like some of you don't feel like you need to quote. That's totally fine. Some of you are going to be really hilarious. You're going to be funny about the whole thing. Some of you are going to be intensely geeky about the whole thing, right? Anybody follow Chris Kresser, right? Like if you follow Chris Kresser, you like the in-depth, geeky, yummy, research-heavy conversations. Like that's your vibe if you're following him, right? Whereas you can look at somebody else who's talking about the exact same topic and they might be flippant and funny and jovial and make a very serious topic a little more, palatable for those of us who don't want to be as science heavy. Those things define you. Okay. And you never ever want to forget, especially if you're new to the market, you never want to underestimate the power that you bring to the table with your secret sauce. Right. So it's like, I think about two different nutritionists that that like think of someone like Betty Rocker, who has like the Betty Page bangs and the tattoos and the white tank tops, right? And then somebody like Chelsea, the Christian nutritionist, right? Who's had over $100,000 win on her first launch. Those two women could not look different, right? One has crosses and is totally blonde and, this purity, all bringing in her Christian faith, all this kind of stuff. And the other one, could be riding off the sunset on a motorcycle while she's giving you nutrition vibes, right? And dropping F bombs. The right people will be attracted to the right flavor, right? So never, ever, ever underestimate that. There is somebody who is looking for the way that Jess talks about this problem, and she's the only light at the end of the tunnel because everybody else won't resonate with them. Okay. So I want to make sure you guys understand the importance of that. Okay. These look great to me. I want to check. Okay. Are you going to run ads?
Yes.
Will you run ads? You'll be running ads. Okay, great. How did you feel about the ad copy that you got from this?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. Okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
You remember there are some different restrictions, okay? And it's even in the prompts here. There are some different restrictions on ad copy on the Meta platform than there are when you're just doing organic content. So make sure you're aware of that. I have done my best to protect you by including phrases in the prompt that will kind of keep you away from the things that will get your ad account shut down. Okay, so I'm super happy that you like these. You guys, just in case you're wondering, how much work did she have to do versus what was the heavy lifting of the prompts? Okay. Bye, Kimberly. Good to see you. Let me know if you have questions, okay? Yeah, you'll want to carve out some time this weekend, okay? All right, we'll see you soon. She had to pop off, but she's going to get herself into lab test funnel. She's having to fill in what Jess had to do. You have to fill in your avatar, okay, and the name of your test. That's hard. That's it. Okay. So she's not having to spend hours on these prompts. Where she is going to have to spend hours is the text that is encased in this box right here. That's the stuff that she got directly from AI. Okay. And the reason that I ask you to house AI's response in this little box is because I always want your brain to be partitioning out what's me, what did I write as the practitioner, and what did I collect from AI, so you protect yourself from ever putting anything out that you haven't run through your originality overhaul, which again is injecting your personality and your catchphrases and your unique IP. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at your drive to register emails. Oh, this is really good. Okay, wonderful. So in her drive to register emails, she had to hit on all three of the main pain points that her people have. Okay. Why do we have to hit? Why do I force her to talk about all three of the main pain points that her people have? Okay. I'll give you an example. There are lots of practitioners in my high-end mastermind that are addressing hormones. Okay. Now, for the hormonal practitioners, a lot of them are addressing things like mid-center weight gain, moodiness, changes in hair texture, body temperature. If they don't pick the top three that they really want to help with, and they're gabbing all the time about, let's say, weight, okay, so they're always talking about the mid-center weight gain and they forget to talk about the other symptoms. What about somebody like me? Like, I'm 5'8" and I weigh 121 pounds. Like, I don't need to lose weight, but that doesn't mean that I don't have hormone issues, right? So if you're not kind of rotating through the different pain points, and some videos about this pain point and some videos are about that second pain point and some videos about the third or fourth, if you don't rotate through, then you might miss people who have the other main symptoms that you help with, but they don't have the one that you've been yapping on about on social media this week. You always want to be rotating through them, because in that example for me, I might be like, well, yeah, my body temperature gets out of control. And yeah, I feel more moody or short tempered than I am. But if all I ever saw those experts talking about was the weight loss, I would scroll right past their stuff and I would never benefit from their content and their services. Okay. So let's see how this came out. Okay. She's giving them direction on the ulcerative colitis and irritable bowel symptoms, the bathroom urgency. Okay, I love this. I love that you included a great testimonial here.
Oh, and just to say, because I haven't really worked with a lot of people, I used myself as a testimonial, just so that for anybody out there who's not starting without clients, I used myself. I did the same thing with the case study because I'm patient number one, right? So or patient zero. But I wanted to just point that out because if somebody gets to this point, and they're like, well, I don't really have a testimonial. I don't have a case study, but you do because you're the person, even if you're still working on your health, you're steps ahead of where somebody is, and you can always be leading them down the track. And if you find something changes, you can always change it for yourself. But just for people who are just starting out, don't get caught up on finding a testimonial or a case study. You can always use yourself. And so I just wanted to add that.
No, that's super smart. And honestly, just the other thing that I would say about that is don't shy away from putting a small cohort, whether it's friends, family, whatever. Don't shy away from doing a small cohort of people through the process that you believe in to get results and to get friendly testimonials. Okay. Even if they have to pay for the test, you can be like, hey, this is an $800 gut test and I'm able to get it for whatever, $400, and you pay for the test and I'll give you my entire protocol because I'm really looking to get some feedback on how well my protocol works and to share testimonials with other people. Don't underestimate the power of doing that, okay? Because when you do that, you are forced to develop your own intellectual property. You're forced to develop, well, how do I want to talk to people about this? Like, what words are going to be? She's going to have to talk about poop, you guys. She's going to have to talk about caca, poop, stool. She's going to have to decide what is the word that feels most comfortable for me when I talk about doing a stool test, right? So if she was to take a few core people in her life or a few people that she knows or a few people from her community, let them do the stool test, walk them through an interpretation on a Zoom call, just a handful of them, give them the simple protocol based on their results, and she checks in with them week over week. She now has a handful of people who can give her feedback, testimonials, and social proof. So if you are brand spanking new, I highly recommend that you put together a beta group and you get some proof in your pudding. Okay. And I'll tell you the reason. You can go pretty far, like gathering that initial group, gathering that small audience with just your own story. You definitely can do that. But ultimately, for the long term growth of your business, you're going to need the confidence, like in your soul level confidence. You're going to need the confidence that what you've done for yourself works for other people. And in my experience, the practitioners that go out and they try to create a group program and they don't have that social proof of enough one-on-one people, they end up experiencing really severe imposter syndrome. And I'm a firm believer that we all encounter imposter syndrome. For God's sake, Meryl Streep admits walking on stage to get yet another Oscar, right? And even she's like, oh, somebody's going to find out I'm not good at this, like, so if people like that at that level of the top of their game have imposter syndrome, I think it's something that we all have to realize, yeah, we're probably all going to experience at some point in time. But in my high-end mastermind, the ones who really struggle with imposter syndrome are the ones who have not yet got notches in their belt from taking other people through the same protocol that worked for them. And as soon as they do it, it's like that invisible ceiling that was like holding them down is like, that's when I get the text message. I just made 50 grand. I just sold 30, blah, blah, blah. It's like, and I don't think that one damn thing happened except that they got out of their own way and they started trusting that what they did for themselves was not some fluke. It was actually like, yes, I did the right thing. I was implementing the education that I have. So if you're at all nervous, do it. Like, do a little
Well,
meta. Yeah, do it.
yeah, and I'll say to that too, if you are struggling with the imposter syndrome and you're trying to create content, also being very open with your audience. I mean, that might be hard, but it helps to kind of get over that hump in stating, like, I don't have all the answers and I don't know exactly what it is that I'm doing, but I've done this for myself first. And so I'm going to share with you and I'm going to start walking through this process. And I'd like to work with you. The more honest you are with people, obviously to your comfort level, but I think that also helps you get over that imposter syndrome because you're going to see people who are like, well, that's fine. As long as it works for you, you seem to be feeling better. One thing that I did early on to kind of get over this hump of being on camera was, like Joy was saying, just getting on every day, even if it's just on stories. They last for 24 hours. You don't have to worry about them staying, and just talking about your life, your experience, your journey. and getting that feedback from people, not necessarily directly, but just for you to see that people are watching, they're responding. And then I also hosted a free webinar early on that just went through, and I was just explaining what I did to help myself for my health. And that was really interesting because I got a lot of people who were just asking me questions, and I got to see what were the most important things that people were looking for. I guess that would fall a little bit more into like market research, but that is something that doesn't cost you any money, doesn't cost anybody else any money to jump in. I did it with practitioners, and that helped me to find out what other practitioners were looking for with their clients who had the similar issue. And then they were asking me questions based on stuff that I did that they didn't think they that to look for. So there's a lot of ways to kind of get yourself over that hump. And I think I'm sure a lot of you are probably like, I don't want to get on camera. Oh my God, I don't want to tell my own story even. But that's going to be the most impactful thing until you get a couple of really good case studies under your belt where you don't have to necessarily tell your personal story all the time. Um, it is your most highest asset is your own story, in my opinion.
So well stated. While I have this biocanic invitation on the screen, will you just give people the lowdown so we don't have to rush through that before we wrap up
Yes,
today?
for sure. So
And you
with
guys, in the
biocanic,
chat for all of you, I'm going to put a link to an imposter syndrome video that our head member success coach did for our mastermind members. So you guys have that to watch later too. Okay.
awesome. So for biocanic, if you purchase the uh, biocanic business automation, you automatically get access to the lab test funnel. Um, so you'll get access to all the portal that you can go through all of this stuff, enjoys content. It's super in depth, but then you also get us from Biocanic to help you with setting up the initial setup of your Go High Level account. You get access to a pre-built site that you can then go in and add in all the stuff that you're creating with your AI. Um, Go High Level super. I know you use Katra with a lot of your clients, Joy, but Go High Level is
Yep.
also very, very robust in what it does. You can be putting in your AI prompts. You can, you know, do a ton of stuff with that, and it integrates really well with Biocanic. So with Biocanic, you're able to do so many other things for your clients. So then the business automation kind of couples all of this together, so that way you have a full business suite of stuff that you need to do to launch your business or to refine what you already have going on. And with that, if you scan this code, it's only $99 a month after you could do the setup, and our team will help you with getting everything set up from there. So just go ahead and click. If you have any questions, you can set up a demo or contact our customer service team, which is all on that page. And we'll be able to walk you through and make sure that it's set up and fits exactly your needs.
Perfect. I just want to make sure everybody has access to that because if you guys are like, yay, I want to build a lab test funnel, but you're also tech phobic, you're like, oh God, I can totally see myself doing this. But what I can't see myself doing is sitting down and getting, the registration page copy onto that landing page, putting my picture where the picture goes, all that kind of stuff. If that overwhelms you, what the Biocanic team has put together here is insanely affordably effective. I absolutely love what they put together for you guys. And so it's kind of an awesome, like, if you like chocolate and you like peanut butter, like this is the easy way to go. Okay. Because you're going to have the lab test funnel in Go High Level. It's called a snapshot. A snapshot is basically a campaign. It's all the pages linking to all the right order forms, linking to all the right emails, right? Tags, triggers, everything. So that you're like, oh, somebody landed on my lab registration page. Ding, ding, ding. They're interested in the lab, right? Okay, well, now let's have it fire some follow-up emails. Hey, it looks like you were interested in this lab, but you didn't quite make a decision. Like some supportive content that might help them get over the fence, or an invitation to hop on a quick call with you, whatever you want, or an invitation to DM you if you're a Instagram darling, however you want. But what, like, the fortune is in the follow-up, you guys. Like, I know that you're all health professionals, and a lot of health professionals don't like to look at the business side of things. They don't always love the marketing. They don't always love the tech side, but welcome to being a health entrepreneur, right? Unless you're going to go get a job for somebody else and you're going to work as a health coach for somebody else, or you're going to work in a clinic or a hospital, then hi, welcome. You are an entrepreneur and you are loved and welcome here. And as health entrepreneurs, we have amazing, profitable, lovely days where we get feedback from hundreds of people in our groups and we're happy. And we have days where we cry in the shower because something was so technically frustrating that we want to set our own hair on fire, right? So that's health entrepreneurship. You should be in a community to get the support that you need, right? Biocanic's a great community. Heal at Scale's a great community. This is chocolate and peanut butter. You're kind of getting both of these communities, but you should be surrounding yourself with people who are up to what you're up to in the world, okay?
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you're going to have one day where, I don't know, something happens. You put out a reel and it gets crickets, and it's going to be like, now you're crying in the shower. No, you just get right back up and you put out the next story, and then you put out a post and you see what hits, right? It's normal for all marketing, all funnels. Like, you guys, even with my clients who have multi-million dollar businesses, when they put out a funnel, we don't know if that marketing idea, that campaign, that invitation to a lab test, this is a funnel, right? This is a lab test funnel. We don't know whether it's going to sink or swim. Right? Some of them like, oh, well, that one sunk. We need to rephrase the page. We need to rephrase the invitations. And then we do it the next day and the next day. And next thing you know, it's 10,000, 30,000. I mean, that is par for the course in marketing. Okay. Even big brands, Nike, Apple, like they've all had marketing campaigns that hit it out of the park and marketing campaigns that people are like, what? What does that even mean? You know what I mean? So welcome to entrepreneurship. We get to, keep trying things until we know that it works. The good thing about this particular funnel, you guys, is it's been tested with hundreds of thousands of dollars of ad spend from our private clients before it was even released to you guys. So we know, should the button go here? Should a picture go there? Should the headline go there? How much copy? Like, you guys are standing on the shoulders of people who already, invested a ton of money on the Meta and Google platforms. And
Yep.
you're not gambling because all of that money was spent in order to perfect these pages, and you just get the benefit of the end result. You know what I mean? So when I say that you should be in a community, for emotional support, but a lot of things like that too. Don't you want all the advantages of, in the biocanic world, which labs are better than others? How do we follow up with clients? How do we keep people being compliant? Like, anytime you join a community like Biocanic or Heal at Scale, you're entering into a collective group of knowledge that is much more powerful than anyone's individual knowledge. All right. So don't go through this alone. That Biocanic offer, I think, you guys, it's one heck of a price. When you consider that lab test bundle retails for $1,500, right? And you're getting in on this at only $99 a month with the support. And that's the CRM too, you guys. If you're like, what's a CRM? A CRM is a customer relationship management tool. It's all your landing pages. It's how you send your emails. It's how you tag who has done what in your world. And how do I follow up with them to make sure that they buy? Because the fortune is in the follow up, right? And you don't have time to do the follow up. It has to be automated if you're actually going to make money in this business. It has to be automated. There is not enough time in the day for you to do your marketing, care for the clients that you have, and what? Like, manually DM everybody, manually email everybody who might be interested in you? Like, good luck with that. That's just not going to happen. Okay. So when they're saying $99 a month, that is the cost of being online, basically, because the platform itself is it's your online ecosphere. Like, it's the online version of an in-person clinic. That's basically what it is, because it houses your content, your information, your people, your email
so
list,
much.
all of it. It's just amazing.
Mhm.
Okay. So definitely, if you haven't checked it out, please check it out. If you're like, I'm already on a CRM that I absolutely love, and there's no way that I'm changing it, I want to stay on it, then you can just invest in Lab Test Funnel. And that's all the AI prompts, all the Canva templates to make the graphics, all of the email. It teaches you the whole selling with soul process. So if you're like, man, I'm just not going to switch platforms, like, we love you anyways. Like, Biocanic is not stuck on themselves. We're not stuck on ourselves. What we are stuck on is you winning. Okay. And what is not working in the space right now, and what Lab Test Funnel can get you completely out of, okay, is this idea that we can continue to put content out in the market. We can offer people a free thingy, like a free guide, a free checklist, a free webinar, a free anything you want to give away. and then we can hammer them with emails until they buy. Okay. I'm not saying that getting people on your email list is a bad thing. It's an absolutely good thing. But would you rather teach the algorithms to bring you people who want free content? Or would you like to teach the algorithms to bring you people who realize that what you do is not covered by insurance, okay, requires an outlay of their personal cash, requires lifestyle change, right? If you want to filter for those things, and you do, okay, because you don't want an email list and an audience full of people who are never going to buy from you, you will literally be banging your head against the wall being like, why do I do so much for my audience and they don't invest in me? Nobody wants to feel like that, okay? So while there is advantages to growing your email list that way, what Lab Test Funnel does is it still lets you grow your list and your audience, because instead of saying get my free thingy, you're saying pay for this very affordable test, right? Pay for this $100, $200, $300 test. Okay. Get the data that you need to see if there's anything going on here. If there's nothing going on here, you don't need me. Right. So you're kind of taking the pushiness out of the sales process and you're letting the science of the test do the heavy lifting. You're still getting the list growth, right? You're still getting the email growth. You're still getting the name, the phone number. So your business is still growing. But what you're teaching the algorithms online is bring me buyers. Like, bring me buyers. And the more you put out content that attracts people who download free things, the more the algorithm will send you people who download free things. And the converse is true too. As soon as you teach the algorithm, bring me people who are willing to make an entry level offer, the algorithm is like, okay, we can tell because we've got all y'all's data. We know how you behave online. Do you bust out your credit card? Do you only do free things, right? That algorithm knows all of that about all of us, okay? If you think you're keeping any secrets, you're crazy and delusional, okay? So when we switch from give away our free thingies to give away our labs and we take them to the registration page, this is the secret sauce, you guys. You have to take them to the registration page to have a normal human conversation with them on a page where you, not Rupa, not Avexia, not any other lab store, okay? You collect that name, email, phone number, okay? Because you want to be able to market to them. So you have the conversation about the symptoms, okay? You bring them over to give them access to the science, but on a page you control. That's the secret sauce. Now those names, email, phone numbers go into your business, okay? And the algorithms know, hey, I only want buyers over here. Send me your buyers, not your looky-loos, not your tire kickers, not your I got to ask my husband, right? But the people who are willing to actually invest. You give them the access to the science in that environment, okay? And then you let the results of the lab ease into the sale. Okay, so no more, here's all the reasons you should work with me. No, it's like, here's what your test is showing. Okay, I've seen plenty of clients who have a profile very similar to this. I have a process for getting them back to health. Here's what that process looks like. Would you like to know what it costs to work with me as a private client, or would you like my group program? You're showing 2 different price points, 3 if you have a DIY self-study course. And so it becomes, which way would you like to work with me? Instead of, do you want to work with me? Yes or no. It becomes, would you like chocolate, vanilla, or strawberry? Like, what's your flavor, right? What's your price point that works for you? So that's really the reason, you guys, that this works so very well. Just really quick, I just want to walk through, I want to read for you something that you created here. Your 5130s. Okay. So I love that you got quite a few of these that are decent. Like, I don't know if you wanted to do a ton of revisions, but I'm just going to read a couple. I'm looking for 5 women who are struggling with unpredictable bathroom urgency and want to finally get answers with a comprehensive gut stool test. If you want free, confident, and you want to feel more confident and in control in the next 30 days, comment gut below and I'll message you the details today. Okay. That's too long for some posts, right? She might want to cut this down for looking like, hey, I'm looking for 5 women who finally want answers to the digestive drama and put this problem in the rearview mirror in the next 30 days. Comment gut below and I'll give it to you. Okay. She's going to set up something like a Manny chat if she wants to automate it. Okay. If you don't know how to do that, DM me on Instagram. Okay. I'll send you to a video that shows you how to do it. I think I have my Instagram on here. Okay. So you guys could DM me. I have a video for that if you don't know how to do it. But even if it's 10 people that respond back to her, well, she could manually get back to 10 people, right? She could just DM them all and be like, awesome. I'm so glad that you want to get and she's going to copy and paste this. She's going to write it one time, okay? And she's going to copy and paste the same answer to all those 10 DMs. Oh my, hi Joy, send. I'm so glad that you want to get this under control. Send, right? Let me give you the link directly to the test. Send. Here it is. Send the link, okay? And then you're going to wait and you're going to say, "Did you get that link okay?" Right? I'm going to wait while you go ahead and check out for the lab. And then while we're in this DM, I'm going to confirm with the lab that they got your order. Right? Now there's like the person feels like this is an interactive conversation, and it is at small scale, and it isn't when you get to high enough volume that you need to do an automation. But the fact of the matter is, she's now made an announcement out in the world. She's asking for people who want to get results in a certain amount of time. And now she's jump started the conversation to move them towards getting the results that they need to drive smart decisions about their health. And that takes them one giant step closer to working with her, because now Jess knows that person comes cash out of pocket for testing. Yay, they've self-identified as someone willing to do that. Then she gets them on the call, and their test results help her enroll them into the next thing that she wants to sell them. High-end one-on-one services, a live rolling group evergreen option. And later, after the evergreen group course is done, she'll also have a self-study version that will be the least expensive of her 3 offers. Jess, any questions for me about that?
No.
No. Okay, awesome. Going start to finish. So you have from the first set of prompts, all your registration page copy, the second set of prompts, all the content you're going to deliver in the member portal, and 3, a whole suite of emails, social media promotions, and ads using the prompt. In terms of if you would have had to think through all of this on your own versus using the prompts, what do you think the difference between those 2 things would have been?
Well, for one, I probably wouldn't have gotten to the place where I'm at now. In what we've been doing this now for 4 weeks. Yeah, I don't think that I would be anywhere close. I probably wouldn't even get to this point, and at the end of the day, I would have ended up either getting distracted, moving on to something else, or just giving up and trying, spinning my wheels a million times. So having this has been one really constructive because it gives you something how to do it, but also at the end of the day, you're walking away with all of this stuff ready to go. So now I just need to spend the time to actually, finish building out the registration page, finish building out all of the email content, doing the content myself, which on the Biocanic site, on our community site, the next 2 weeks, we're going to be doing live streams that are just going through Go High Level and kind of following up with our community. So if you want to see what that looks like outside of Lab Test Funnel, you can follow us at hicks.biocanic.com. And we have 2 events over the next 2 weeks that are on the same time on Tuesday, just with our community to kind of like go through this specifically. I don't think that, especially if you're a new practitioner, that you're going to really know exactly what it is that you need to do. So having something like this already pre-built, it's tested. Yeah, I mean, I can't rave about it further, honestly.
And when she says this, you guys, it's like basically we've taken this lab test funnel offer, right, which was already built on 2 different platforms, Kartra and Go High Level. And then for anybody who's on like an old school platform like Infusionsoft, or maybe you're still on ClickFunnels, or maybe I don't care. It doesn't matter. Again, we are platform agnostic. Like, we want to make it easier for you. If getting into the Biocanic environment makes things easy for you, please run with that. It is very, very affordable, and you actually have help on tap. Okay. So if you want to do that, then do it. Okay. If you want to build on any funnel that you're already on, okay. So if you want in on the Biocanic where they're going to give you support and they're going to show you how to do this, this is the right choice for you, especially if you also want in on Biocanic, which is like, I mean, they can't say this, but I can say this. It's like practice better. Okay. It's like way better than practice better. It like integrates so gracefully. Like, you guys, I have been in the health and wellness business for over a decade, 14 years in September. Okay. So I've tried and seen in all of my private clients, like my multi-million dollar clients, I've seen the back end of just about every freaking platform that you could possibly imagine. Some of them are a hot mess and some of them are great. Okay. So If you know that you need a rock solid platform, you want to integrate it with labs on the back end, you want to have clear relationships with your customers, you want tech support for your online efforts, right? For things like the sale of bulk things like I like to do. I like you to have a group program. Okay. I don't want you always trading time for money. Shoot me now. I think that is a fast track to burning out. Okay. So because I've seen the back end of all kinds of systems, I can tell you that you are in good hands with Biocanic. The price point on this is amazing. Okay. You would be paying that $99 a month if you just went straight up to Go High Level and took, theirs, signed up directly with them, but you would have no support. You would have no support, no help, no pre-built funnels. They have pre-built funnels on there for you, including lab test funnel. Okay. So they basically just took everything that I did in this lab test funnel offer and they said, hey, Joy, we heard your thing is awesome. Could we please embed it into our Biocanic offer so that it's ready and waiting for our people who want that? And of course, I was like, yes, if it gets this help into the hands of more people, let's do it. Okay. So we don't care how you do it, you guys. We just care that you do it. Okay. So either way that you do this, please take advantage. Stop attracting freebie seekers. Start attracting people who are willing to put a little bit of skin in the game. Okay. That's going to grow you an audience and an email list of way more serious people. And that will stop you from 2, 3, 4 months of delivering content being like, why? Like, why is this happening to me? I'm working so hard on my content and nobody's converting. Well, it's never going to convert if you're singing to a choir that believes all of their health related stuff should be handled by the, overprice that they're paying for their current insurance, right? If you're always preaching to that choir, you're never going to get them to come on over to your camp. Okay. So we want to make sure that you're having conversations and that let them self filter out by deciding, okay, am I willing to put a little skin in the game with the lab? All right. Now, what these additional sessions that they're doing, you guys, I think is really important. And you guys, because I don't have their Instagram, just DM me and tell me that you saw this, that you saw this live stream with Biocanic with Jess. Just message me and let's get you connected to whatever you need. Because what's going to happen now is we're going to pass the torch. Okay. So I've shown you guys how did we help her pick a test, right? Because the right test is key, right? You have to pick a test that logically dead ends to them buying your one-on-one services or your online program, whatever you want to sell. Okay. So we went through her offer ladder. Okay. That is important. Then we did the copy for the registration page, right? And the emails to promote to that. Then we did the content inside. And today we were looking at some of her promotional content. So that's the body of content that you, the practitioner, the brand leader, you should be doing that because it should be your voice and your style. Okay. From there, you've got one of two choices. You're either going to be the bootstrapping kind of practitioner that's like, okay, the funnel's already built. I need somebody to show me how to go into the already built, ready to customize pages and go high level. And that's what the Biocanic team is going to let you see. They're going to let you see going from Jess's copy that she has in a Google Doc that we gave her with the prompts in it. Okay. And you're going to see them copy it and paste it into the right place on the page. You're going to see them take Jess's beautiful photo of herself and slide it into the placeholder picture where there's a generic doctor here or generic health coach here, right? You're going to see exactly how that's done so that you don't stress. If you're a bootstrapping person who needs to do that, you absolutely need the hand holding of seeing that happen. You need to see how it actually goes from copy in a copy document to words on a page online. You need to see that. Okay. If you already have a team, right? If you have a tech integrator, a social media helper, somebody who helps you with your website, your blog posts, it is very likely that they partner with you and you do all the copy and you do all the prompts, right? And then they take it from there and they put the copy onto the pages and they do the technical part. Those are the two different paths that I see this going, right? You're either like, I'm the practitioner, I'm going to stay focused on copy and content, right? I'm going to be the voice of the brand and I'm going to have somebody else do my tech for me. Totally fine. Or you're the kind of person who's like, Joy, I don't have that tech person yet. And I'm determined to make my first 10, 20, 30K from this offer. so that I can afford somebody who can do that for me, right? So either way, what we wanted to make sure is that you could see what Jess is doing all the way through, from the selection of the test to the creation of the registration page copy, the content that she will serve up between when the test is ordered and when they get the results. That's your golden hour, you guys. Okay. And then obviously the social media, the email promotions to connect people who want access to this test. Okay. So we let you see all of that. Biocanic is going to take it from here, and they are going to show you how is she putting that copy that we've created onto the pages. And then once they do that, and Jess, I'm happy to circle back and be a part of that. How are they going to take and put her promotions out in the world? Like, what is the best social media strategy? What's working right now on YouTube versus LinkedIn versus Facebook versus TikTok versus Instagram? Because guess what, y'all? The strategies are different on all of them. They all have different little favorites, little flavors that you need to abide by if you want to have success. But together as a team, Heal at Scale and Biocanic, we wanted to show you that all, right? From formulation of the offer through the copy creation. Now Biocanic is going to take the next few weeks. They're going to show you how to actually put it onto the Go High Level pages that are available when you purchase Lab Test Funnel embedded in the Biocanic offer. Okay. That's already embedded in the Biocanic offer. If I were you and I had a choice and I absolutely wanted the luxury of being in the Biocanic platform and on Go High Level, that is the money saving way to do that, you guys. I don't see anything that's competitively priced the way that they have it in the marketplace. And I don't see the level of service that they provide, right? Because they have an on-hand, person that you can lean into to get extra help on that platform if you need it, which means you don't have to go on Upwork or Fiverr or whatever and try to weed out somebody who's good at helping you on that platform. They already have access. And if you need to upsell and buy more time from their helpers, like, you guys have that option, right? Just they can pay for like extra help. Yeah, that's gangster, you guys, because the hardest problem when you need help on a tech platform is, how do I find somebody who's trustworthy and good and they're actually going to deliver what they say they're going to deliver? And the people who are helping them with the Go High Level tech, gangster. They've been doing it. They know what they're doing. You're in good hands. All right. I can't say enough about this. I just think it's amazing. Jen,
Yeah.
anything I forgot?
No, I think that's it. Everybody, you can check the comments wherever you're watching to get to to Biocanic's community site, so that way you can watch us over the next couple weeks. Make sure you message Joy on Instagram. You can find us at Biocanic on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. You can email me at jess@biocanic.com for any specific questions. Otherwise, looking forward to seeing you guys again next week.
Yeah. And for those of you who are like, wow, is their lab test funnel the first thing that I should do? Or should I have my group program ready so I'm not slammed with one-on-one and I don't have a leveraged way to share my expertise? Is it time for me to write a book? Should I be doing a webinar? Like, if you're a little bit lost as to how do I shift from expending my time and energy and my education in the one-on-one setting and shift that over into, how do I leverage my time? How do I become a brand that has, yes, high-end one-on-one for the very few who can afford me, live group programs, DIY, like self-study courses, and at every level of marketing, sales, and service, you are injecting profit boosters in the form of supplement sales, testing sales, and well-chosen products. If you don't know how to do all of those three things, you should meet with us for a game plan session. If you use this code right now, you are meeting with the same health strategist that got Amy Myers out of her clinic in Austin and into a multi-million-dollar business with supplement sales behind it. Okay. So you are not talking to some lackey. You are talking to someone who's going to tell you exactly what he would do if you were in the same shoes as Amy was at the time that he started working with her. Okay. Including not sugar-coated guidance. Okay. So when you come on that call, you better be really clear about what you want and where you think you're going, and you're going to get the next 3 steps to take in that direction. If we know you need Biocanic, we're going to tell you that. Okay. If we know you're not ready for that, we'll tell you that too. Okay. Like there's zero sugarcoating. We will 100% tell you exactly what we believe what we know we would do if your business was our own. Okay. So if that's where you're at, you're a little unclear, just talk to us. Like, let's get on a call, let's figure it out. And then we'll make sure to connect you directly to the Biocanic team. Okay. So you're not going it alone. We'll give you the link. You'll get an onboarding process with them and you'll be off to the races before you know it. Okay. So if push comes to shove, you just need to figure out exactly what you're doing. That free game plan session is the best way for you to get the sort of architecture of a plan together so you don't feel like you're duct taping together some sort of wacky marketing that's not going to pay off for you in the long haul. Okay. So you guys are not in this alone. We're here for you. Go ahead and schedule your game plan session. Make sure you connect with the Biocanic team because I want you to see what's happening on those Go High Level pages because my gut tells me, well, we're having a gut test conversation here, right? So my gut tells me you probably think that going from the copy document to an actual landing page with a pop-up form, my gut tells me you think that's a lot harder than it is, okay? But when you're working with customizable funnels, it's copy and paste. It's swap out a photo. It's, this background color is navy blue and I want it to be hot pink. It's a lot simpler and less intimidating once you see it happen. Okay. So that's why I really do want you to attend those Biocanic calls because I have a feeling that it's going to melt away the intimidation like some organic grass-fed butter on a hot cast iron skillet. It's just going to evaporate right in front of you and you'll be sliding into launching your own lab test funnel before you know it. One last thing, Jess has done this in front of you guys. She does not need to do that, right? She could just, be like so many people who act like they're already a pro and everything's firing on all cylinders for them. She's been super, super real with us and let us see exactly what's going on. So Jess, thank you again for doing that.
You're welcome. Glad to
All
be
right.
the guinea pig.
Take care, everybody. Make sure that you follow up with Biocanic and see those lessons.